Welcome in, guys, and welcome back to the Marshall Experience. Guys, it is week one is done. Week one is done. Football is officially here, and the fantasy football owners couldn't be happier. Okay, setting lineups, doing these types of things. It's all things that we look forward to during the football season, right? Watching our players, not necessarily the team, but watching the players and how they perform, right? It's kind of like putting a parlay. Do you pay attention to the specific players, or if you pick a team, that's the team you're going to watch, right? So, tonight, basically, like I had said before, Tuesdays, we basically recap, and then we will preview Thursday's game. On Saturday, our other scheduled day, we will be doing Sunday preview and Thursday recap, if you're following me. So, I'm going to get right into it here. We're going to be moving along pretty quick, but we're excited. So, week one of the NFL. Okay, week one of the NFL. We had the Bengals versus the Browns. The Bengals won 17-16. Fantasy-wise, though, Joe Burrow was quite the disappointment this week. Quite the disappointment. Was projected at 23.2 points. And only scored 10.8. Okay, had a rough game, 14 for 23, only 113 yards, a touchdown on 3 rushing yards. Okay, he did obviously throw that touchdown pass to, if you watch the game, Noah Fant, who is a new acquisition in Cincinnati. I thought that Mike Gesicki was going to be a sleeper this year, to be honest with you, but it's looking like Noah Fant could have a significant role in that offense next to, Higgins, Chase, stuff like, people like that. But in the tight end room, he did have 4 catches on 5 targets, guys. Gesicki only had the 1 target for the 1 reception, for 13 yards. And Noah Fant was the one that was catching the red zone touchdown. So we'll get into it later a little bit. On the other side of that, quarterback-wise, actually, Joe Flacco outperformed Joe Burrow this week in fantasy points. He had 12.2, but was only projected at 17.5. So it's not as big of a downfall as Burrow was. Okay. Highlight for the running back rooms. On top of that, Flacco did throw 2 picks. So that was the reason I think that he did not meet projections. Otherwise, he had a damn good day. 45 attempts. That's nice in fantasy because it's, again, going to lead to more completions. The more times you throw the ball, right, the more times you have the opportunity. So in the running back department, Chase Brown obviously is the lead guy here. He's the only one that received carries on the day, 21 carries to be exact. Averaged 2 yards a carry, guys. It wasn't pretty. But he did score a touchdown and had 2 catches for 8 yards. Okay, that kind of rounded out to 13.1, but he was projected at 18. So again, did not meet projections this week. So we'll be looking for more for Chase Brown next week. On the other side, had some real sleepers in the Cleveland Brown world. Dylan Sampson actually saw 12 carries on 29 yards, but also caught 8 passes. 8 for 8 for 64 yards. So he averaged literally 8 yards. Okay. Then we got Raheem Sanders, who came in on a goal line situation for Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford kind of struggled on the day. Being a Jerome Ford owner, it was very frustrating. 6 carries for 8 yards and a catch, but for -3. Okay, so the other two kind of seen a little bit of, we saw the goal line situation where what Raheem Sanders brings, and then Dylan Sampson is clearly getting the volume, guys. Okay, in the wide receiver department, Cedric Tillman leads the Browns with 5 catches on 8 targets and 52 yards and a touchdown. Okay, that resulted in a 16.2-point week. Pretty solid for him considering his projection was at 9 points. Other than that, Jerry Jeudy, 5 for 8, 66 yards, but did not receive a touchdown. 13.6. I was trying to see what else Jeudy did because Jeudy in some leagues you'll see that he also got a tackle on an interception from Joe Flacco, so he received points for that. The reason I did that is because the points weren't adding up. Again, tight end room, we've already talked about Cincinnati, but for the Cleveland Browns, we have a little gem in the making. Njoku, guys, only seen 6 targets. I caught 3 of them for 37 yards, but that ended up under projection. Harold Fanning Jr., okay, saw 9 targets, caught 7 of them for 63 yards, so that's about 9 yards a carry, and he had a rushing attempt for 3 yards. Okay, he seems to be an important part of their offense going as of week 1. Okay, kickers. Eric McPherson beat out Cleveland's kicker. McPherson was perfect on the day, and I don't know how to say this name. Andre Schmidt, I'm going to say, for Cleveland went 1 for 2 and 1 for 2 on an extra point. So, realistically, it comes down to if the kicker makes a field goal or even one of those extra points, this is a tie ball game. Okay. Interesting enough, the Bengals defense outscored the Browns defense. 2 interceptions on the day for Cincinnati, 2 sacks as well, and 3 sacks for the Browns. So next game we're going to get into, which will be, we're just going to cover these in the order that they are. Dallas and Philly. Okay, Eagles won 24-20. This was realistically a very good game. Okay, I did not see Dallas coming out and kind of honestly punching us in the mouth, right? Jalen Carter getting thrown out didn't help matters. Okay, not a smart choice, right? But to get into the game fantasy-wise, quarterback room. Dak Prescott had 9.8 fantasy points this week, 21 for 34, 188 in the air, and a carry for 3 yards. Okay, no touchdowns, no picks, just kind of meh, right? He was projected to be at 19.4. Okay, way below projection. Struggled this week, right? Jalen Hurts at 24.2. He was projected at 23, so he met projections right at that median. 19 for 23, 152 yards. Again, it's efficient. If you get points for the yards, I understand your grievance. You know what I mean? But if you're getting points for each completion, it's efficiency. It's efficiency. Now, the other flip side of this, right? 14 carries for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns. Guys, the fantasy relevance is there no matter what he's passing for. Running back room. Javonte Williams was a big surprise to me. Again, losing Jalen Carter, where was most of the yards from Javonte Williams? Well, it was up the middle. So, losing Jalen Carter, again, not a smart choice by him, but we saw the repercussions that transformed after that. So, Javonte Williams on 15 carries, not a great day. He had 54 yards, right? Not very many yards per carry, but did have 2 scores and 2 catches for 10 yards. Okay, that came out to 20.4, almost double projection at 11. And other than that, we saw Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders had 4 carries for 53 yards. Again, we really see what Jalen Carter brings to that because he has to be double teamed or he's going to beat you one-on-one every time. Well, that leaves somebody else one-on-one. So it's his impact on the field, let alone, made this a lot closer game than it should have been, right? Miles Sanders only had 3 points because he fumbled the ball late in the fourth quarter. Okay. Barkley, on the other side, Barkley was around projection, that median. He was projected at 19.1, fell just below that at 18.4, but we'll take that. 18 carries on the day for 60 yards and a touchdown. He also had 4 catches on 5 targets for 24 yards. Okay, so that's interesting and pleasing to me, being a Barkley owner, that he's going to be involved in this game plan in the passing game now more than last year. Okay, we saw Will Shipley come into the game. We saw A.J. Dillon come into the game. Guys, Barkley's not going to be on the field every time, and that, I think, adds to his health. That adds to the length that he can go to. And if he's needed, right, if we're down, well, I don't think he does come off the field. But in those time management situations, we do have 2 other capable backs. Not to mention, breaking news, as of today, the Eagles have traded for Tank Bigsby with a swap of a 5th and 6th round pick. So I like this trade. Fantasy-wise, again, knock on wood, but hard as shit. But if Barkley goes down, right, I think Tank Bigsby is one of those absolute handcuffs that you have to have, right? So, Will Shipley, 3 carries, 26 yards. A.J. Dillon, 3 carries, 10 yards. So that's 6 carries that Barkley probably would have got last year. So again, I think that we're bringing these people in to keep him healthy, to keep him young. Let's go win another one, and we're going to do it on the fact that we are a running first team. Now, who does this hurt? Well, this hurts A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, right? The leading wide receiver for the Eagles was Jahan Dotson. 3 catches on 3 targets for 59 yards. No touchdowns. Devontae Smith, 3 for 3. 16 yards. And A.J. Brown, 1 on 1 target for 8 yards. A.J. Brown owners were very upset this weekend, right? As of Thursday, it was, why did I draft this guy? Well, let me tell you, because you're going to see games down the road where this is not going to be a problem. Okay. In Philadelphia, the starters do not play in the preseason. So this is all fresh to a whole new offense. Not to mention, like I just said, a whole new offense. We have a brand new offensive coordinator. Okay. If I'm going into Philadelphia as a coach, this is no disrespect to A.J. Brown. This is no disrespect to Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. But if I am a new offensive coordinator for the Eagles, the 2 players, if I can only pick 2, I would be Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. That's who I would model my offense around. And that's exactly what he has done. Now, again, does this hurt A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? Absolutely. But you can't not tell me that, again, if I'm the new offensive coordinator, I'm also noticing A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. I'm noticing that last year, Hurts was honestly disrespected in his passing abilities. So why don't we prove that? If I really believe he's good enough, why don't we prove that? I do. Okay? So, yes, it did hurt the wide receiver room. You've seen John Mechie, on the field, did not receive any catches or targets, but did produce in the special teams department. On the Dallas side of things, CeeDee Lamb. Man, CeeDee Lamb could have had a hell of a game if he could have held on in the fourth quarter. But he saw 13 targets, caught 7 passes for 110 yards. Okay. Turpin was interesting enough. 2 carries, 9 yards. We saw him in the backfield, so he may be an interesting piece moving forward. And George Pickens, which had Quinyon Mitchell on most of him of the game, 3 Here. 3 of 4 for 30 yards for George Pickens. Now, tight end room. Jake Ferguson, 5 catches for 6 targets for 23 yards. It was just kind of a safety valve, right? No other production in the tight end room. Then we on the other side have Dallas Goedert, who saw a heck of a day. 7 for 7, 44 yards. Met projections, 11.4, and he was projected at 10. We really didn't see any other tight end on the field besides Granson for 1 play. And he saw a catch and a target for 1 yard. It was a screen play. Okay. Kickers, Aubrey made 2 field goals, made both of his extra points, met projection, and as did Elliott with a field goal and 3 extra points. As for the defenses, well, honestly, we didn't see a lot of sacks. Again, Jalen Carter being out hit our defensive line. Dallas's offensive line actually looked pretty decent. On the flip side of that, we're a top 3 offensive line. We don't have, new right guard this year. Dickerson dealing with some injuries. But, again, Lane Johnson, I think, is one of the best tackles in the game. Jordan Mailata is underrated. And I think that Cam Jurgens is a top 5 center in the game as well. So, we didn't see a lot of sacks, so not a lot of points, not a lot of picks, right? No picks from either quarterback. So Dallas only scored 1 point because they had a sack. And the Eagles scored 4 points on a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. So Dallas did have a turnover, just not an interception. Moving on to the Chargers and the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes beat projections this week. He had 28 points on a 21-point projection, 258 and a touchdown. But the rushing is what was impressive to me. 6 carries on 57 yards and a touchdown. Good day for Mahomes, but it was not enough to defeat Justin Herbert and the Chargers in Brazil. Justin Herbert goes off for nearly 34 points on an 18-point projection. He had 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, and himself had 7 carries for 32 yards. So again, guys, those dual threat quarterbacks, the guys that can get out and move, I'm telling you, are so much more valuable. You look at Burrow, right? 3 rushing yards. Well, what did he also struggle in? The passing game. Normally, if my quarterback is struggling in the passing game, or I'm going to open up more of an offense for him to use his legs today because we got to open something up. The ability to move outside of the pocket is huge in fantasy. Okay? Herbert, again, boomed the day and beat out Patrick Mahomes. Now, for the running back room, it was a little scarce for the Chargers. 15 carries on 48 yards for Omarion Hampton's debut. Najee Harris only saw a couple plays, but 1 carry for 5 yards and 1 catch for 5 yards. Everybody kind of really fell below projections there in the Chargers room. And as for the Kansas City, same thing. Pacheco, 5 carries for 25 yards. He was averaging 5 yards a carry and stopped seeing the ball after that. I mean, they did play from coming down, but you would think that if he's doing that well on the day, he might see at least 10 carries, right? Kareem Hunt stole the other 5. He ran 16 yards on 2 catches for 10 yards. So, again, a real 50-50 split there. I don't think you can get any more 50-50 than that. As for the wide receiver room, Hollywood Brown looked delicious in fantasy. 16 targets. Now, that's a big thing to Xavier Worthy going down, right? I'm not a big Travis Kelce fan right now, being an Xavier Worthy owner. But, Hollywood Brown definitely saw the action with Worthy out. 16 targets, 10 catches, 99 yards. Okay, Juju Smith-Schuster actually was a surprise as well. They both beat projections with a decent gap on 5 catches on 5 targets for 55 yards. Smith-Schuster had a decent day. Again, Worthy got hurt. I think that Tyquan Thornton may be involved in the offense a little bit more the next couple weeks with Worthy out. On the other side, surprise of the day, Quentin Johnson caught 2 touchdown passes, 5 for 7 and 79 yards. He was projected at 6 points. If anybody started Quentin Johnson just for the heck of it or because you had to, congratulations. He won you the week. Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's going to be a surprise addition to the Chargers as well. He saw 10 targets, and he caught 7 of them for 68 yards and a touchdown. He was on my bench this week because I did not think that was going to be a thing. I saw 3 or 4 catches. I probably had some better starts, but definitely should have started Keenan Allen. 19.8, and he beat his 8-point projection. Now, I haven't even mentioned their best receiver, Ladd McConkey. 6 for 9, 74 yards, and he fell about a solid 2 points below projection. But hey, again, it's not like it's 10 points below projections. The targets are there. The catches are there. Okay, I think these 3 wide receivers may very well be startable. Quentin Johnson is questionable for me right now. Obviously, it's 1 week. I have to see more. But Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey, I would say, are startable throughout the weeks. Travis Kelce, 2 for 4, 47 yards and a touchdown. He met projections, whatever. Then he decided to take out Xavier Worthy. For all you Xavier Worthy fans, I feel your anger. Other than that, not really production in the tight end room. And Tyler Conklin, the new tight end over there in Conklin in the Chargers tight end room, met projections and produced a 6-point day on a 4-point projection. Kicker saw a strong day. The Bucker kicked 3 field goals and missed an extra point. Dicker beat projections as well on 2 field goals and 3 extra points. As for the defense, again, not a lot of sacks. 3 for the Chiefs, 2 for the Chargers. There were no interceptions. There were no, like it was a clean game. And I honestly think that I was right in the beginning and the better team won. I do think that the Broncos and the Chargers are now better than the Chiefs, and that's just my personal opinion. Next game we'll talk about, we're going to kind of speed this up a little bit. Highlight of the day for the Bucks and Falcons was, Baker Mayfield and Penix both met projections and beat projections. Bucky Irving was close to his. Any shockers here? I don't really see any. Mbuka was a solid start for anybody that has him. Until Godwin and McMillan get back, Mbuka is definitely startable. Not even in a flex position. He is a startable wide receiver for sure. Mike Evans, 5 catches on 8 targets. No other really highlights than that. Sterling Shepard is kind of stealing the wide receiver 3 role. On the Atlanta side, right, Drake London, Darnell Mooney did not play. Ray McLeod saw the action, and then Casey Washington saw some of the action as well with Darnell Mooney out. It looked like they missed Darnell Mooney for sure. The Atlanta Falcons dropped this one 20-23 as in favor of the Bucks. Kyle Pitts. Okay, Kyle Pitts. As we look at this, Drake London is considered day-to-day. He suffered a shoulder sprain. It appears to have avoided a major injury, but he is expected to undergo further testing. I think that bodes well for not the wide receiver room, but I think that bodes well for the tight end room. Okay? I think that bodes well for the tight end room. As for the defenses, again, not a lot of sacks this week. Okay, 1 sack for each team. They get minuses for the points and the yards they allow, but 2 points to 1 point respectively, right? The kickers. Koo met projections when McLaughlin did not. Okay? Kate Otten with the big goose egg for Tampa. Didn't like that. Colts, Miami, Daniel Jones shocks the world as he's on my bench. So, 32 points nearly on a 13-point projection. Did not see 2 rushing touchdowns. Did not see him going 22 for 29. Miami, you are down bad because I don't think that Daniel Jones is that good, but Miami is bad. I can see Tyreek Hill getting traded real quick. Real quick. Tua struggles on the day. 2 picks, a touchdown on 14 completions, a fumble that I remember. It's just a really bad day. Even Zach Wilson came in and got some reps, 5 for 8, 32 yards. I mean, might have looked a little better. As for the running back room, Devon Achane, 7 carries for 55 yards, 3 catches and a receiving touchdown. He fell 1.5 points below projections. We'll take that. Jonathan Taylor, 18 carries for 71 yards and 3 catches. Kind of fell below projections. Didn't get a tutty, right? Daniel Jones took those. As for DJ Gittens, who I have drafted, quite surprising there. 12 carries on the day, 41 yards. He did meet projections. He was projected at 4 points. And but the volume there is what excites me, right? As for Miami, Tyreek 4 for 640, Waddle 4 for 530. I mean, it was Tua. I watched the game. It was horrible. Tyreek Hill was very frustrated on the sideline. As for the day, I should have started Pittman. Pittman had a great day, 6 for 8, 80 and a touchdown, almost doubled projections. Then we go to Josh Downs, who didn't see a lot of targets, 2 for 3 for 12 yards, and it was very spread out from there. Okay. Tyler Warren, 7 for 9, 76 yards and a carry. You kind of see that gadget player mentality that he still had in Penn State. So, 15 points on a 9-point projection was nice. As for the kicker of the week, Spencer Schrader. Spencer Schrader was 4 for 4, 2 field goals. 2 field goals were short, and the others were a little bit longer, but 4 for 4 on field goals and 3 for 3 on extra points. The Colts defense also beat projections, 2 interceptions and 3 sacks. Now, am I going to scream and pick all these people up? No. Am I picking up the Colts defense? No. Again, I really think that Miami was that bad. I think Miami and the Saints will be fighting for the number 1 pick. Okay. As for any highlights here, we're going to get into some debuts. We're going to go over some points here. Lawrence and Young both struggled in Jacksonville there. Young on the day, 2 picks, 5 carries for 40 yards for Carolina. And then Lawrence on the day also threw a pick, but under 200 yards. Chuba Hubbard beat projections today, had a good game, 16 carries, which was promising. Sorry about the cat. He is determined. 3 and 5, 32, and a touchdown. Okay. Rico Dowdle, who I was worried about eating into Hubbard's production, only had 3 carries and also only had 2 catches. So I didn't really see a lot that I thought that Hubbard couldn't be the guy in Carolina. So, again, Tank Bigsby, after he plays, gets traded to Philly. So now you got Bashal Batutin, who saw 3 carries on the day, step up into that, running back 2 role now. Travis Etienne had a great day. He was running back 6 this week. 16 carries, 143 yards, and 3 catches. Okay, couple debuts. Terratula McMillan just fell below short of projections. 5 catches on 9 targets for 68 yards. Leggett saw 7 targets. That's promising. Renfro saw 6 targets. So they're letting it loose. It's just Bryce Young had a tough day. Okay. Brian Thomas Jr. 1 carry, had a rushing touchdown, but they went 1 for 7. 1 catch on 7 targets and 11 yards. That's another one that kind of struggled, but he did score that touchdown, so it was not bad as most, right? Brenton Strange, 4 for 4, 59 yards. Got the touchdown vultured from him from the backup, but I saw some blocking that was insane. I saw, him in an offense that he could be fantasy relevant, guys. He could be fantasy relevant. Cam Little struck gold, baby. Struck gold. 4 for 4. He was kicker number 3 this week with 16 points. Way above projections. And the Jaguar defense also 2 picks and a sack to beat projections. So, good game by the Jacksonville Jaguars for sure. Raiders, Patriots, here we go. Geno Met production, had a great day. Touchdown and a pick. Drake May, 46 attempts. That's promising for fantasy owners. And Drake May had a touchdown and a pick, and then 4 carries for 11 yards. So he's trying to be mobile. We saw a lot of that last year, right? Genty's debut, 19 carries for 38 yards. He averaged 2 yards per carry. He did score, though. He did score and had 2 catches, so he only fell about 5 points below projection. But he projected at 17 and had 12. Trey Henderson, another debut, had a really good day. 6 catches for 6 targets, 24 yards, and had a little bit over 5 yards per carry. Okay. Stevenson Gibson, it doesn't look like they're going to eat into his timing too much. Henderson seems to be the third down back, the pass game back. And Stevenson saw 7 carries, but again, he only averaged 2 yards per carry. So in the wide receiver department, Myers was a highlight. 8 for 10, 97. I keep telling you guys about Jacoby Myers, man. It's worth a pickup in a league if you do not have him. Trey Tucker got the long bomb. And then the player that everybody's talking about, Deontay Thornton. Met projections, but 2 catches for 45 yards. On the other side of it, Diggs, 6 for 7, 57 yards. Looks good. Kayshon Boutte, 6 for 8. 103 yards. He boomed this week, guys. He was only 6 points projected and ended up with 16. Okay. Pop Douglas met projections this week on a touchdown catch, but he did see 7 targets. Okay. Kyle Williams saw a little bit of action with 12 yards. Bowers. Now we got to talk about Bowers. Right now, as of yesterday, we are without update on injury. Bowers came out of Sunday's game against the Patriots with a knee injury. His status will be monitored at practice throughout the week. Okay. Before he left, guys, 5 for 8, 103 yards. He met projections and he got hurt. Brock Bowers is going to be a massive piece this year if he can stay healthy. Then Michael Mayer came in 4 for 4 on 38 yards. Not a bad substitution. He beat projection because he wasn't he's a tight end 2, Hunter Henry had some decent catches, 4 for 8, 66 yards for the Patriots. Kickers, they both met projections, and the defense both met projections. That's the first time we've seen interceptions on both sides of the ball in a game this week. Next game, Cardinals and Saints, this was actually kind of a couple things kind of surprised me. Spencer Rattler met projections. Kyler Murray was just above. James Conner did well. Kamara fell below projections by a couple points, but looked good. Okay, looked good. Trey Benson was a highlight of it, and on 8 carries, saw 69 yards. Okay, wide receiver department. Marvin Harrison for the Cardinals, 5 for 6, 71 yards and a touchdown. That's really the only highlight for the Cardinals, right? On the flip side of that, somebody's got to get Olave out of New Orleans, please, for the love of football. This man's getting cracked every week. But 13 targets, 7 receptions, 54 yards. Shaheed as well, coming back off an injury last year, 9 targets on 6 catches for 33 yards. Tight ends were both pretty productive, 6 for 9, 61 yards for McBride, and 8 for 11, 76 yards for Jawan Johnson. Okay. Kickers met projection, as did the Saints defense. The Cardinals defense did not. The Saints defense actually had 5 sacks and a blocked kick. So, Steelers, Jets, Justin Fields looks fantastic. Fantastic. Justin Fields almost gets 32 points. He is quarterback 2 this week on a 19-point projection. I kept telling you guys about Justin Fields, what the potential was. 218 yards on an efficient 16 for 22, a touchdown, 12 carries. Those are Jalen Hurts numbers. 48 yards and 2 touchdowns, okay? Rodgers also had a fantastic day. Also had a really good day. 22 for 30, 244 yards, 4 touchdowns from old man Rodgers. Looks comfortable with DK Metcalf and company. Running backs. Okay, running backs. I apologize. I did not mean to do that. Gainwell saw a lot of action, guys. A lot of action. 7 carries, 19 yards. Okay. 7 carries. Did not see that happening because Warren got 11. And I thought it was going to be Caleb Johnson, but they must really believe in Kenneth Gainwell, which as an Eagles fan that's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was with us, but he was behind Miles Sanders. Then he was behind Barkley, obviously. And I think by the time that he found his rhythm, it may be in Pittsburgh. So on the other side of things, Breece Hall, 19 carries for 107 yards, 2 catches for 38 yards. He beat projections this week. Braylon Allen looked good. They may be developing a 2-back system over there in New York. Calvin Austin beat projections this week on a long touchdown catch. And Metcalf met projections, didn't beat him, but, just below projections. 4 catches for 83 yards. Another guy that did phenomenal this week, Skoranek. He was projected nothing, guys. 0. Roman Wilson was the guy that was projected, but he goose-egged. And Ben Skoranek comes in, gets 1 catch on 1 target, and it's a 22-yard touchdown. Okay, so he scored 11.2. Is he a waiver wire pickup? I'd have to see one more week. And see if him and Rodgers are meshing. Okay, on the other side of things, Garrett Wilson, I think I was nervous about because of Justin Fields' passing ability, but he looked good against the Steelers defense, guys. That Steelers defense was not a slouch. TJ Watt, Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay. I mean, you got a good defensive line, good linebacking crew, 2 decent, really good corners, right? It wasn't a basket of eggs that he could just carry around. He had to earn that. Okay, but Garrett Wilson saw most of it, 9 targets, 7 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. Other than that, a couple catches here and there, but nothing fantasy relevant. As for Pittsburgh's tight end room, a lot of people have been asking about Jonnu Smith and Pat Fairmouth. I think they're both streamable. I really do. Rodgers loves his tight ends, and it could be possible that they're both streamable. Both kickers beat projections, and the Steelers' defense struggles. The Jets fell below projections, but at least they had 5 points and 4 sacks. Okay. Next game we're going to get into is Giants Commanders. Jaden Daniels met projections. Russell Wilson struggled. Bill, right? Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, or like they call him Bill, is streamable. He is streamable. Saw more carries than Eckler. Eckler is still the receiving back, which makes sense, but Bill's going to get those carries for sure. As for Tyrone Tracy on the other side, looked to be the lead back. Cam Scatterbo only had 2 carries and 2 catches, but Tracy had 10 carries and 2 catches. And even Devin Singletary's seen some action in there with 3 carries. So I don't think that Cam Scatterbo is going to come in here and just take everybody's stuff away. I think it's still Tyrone Tracy's room, which it should be. Deebo Samuel, not going to lie to you, shocked me. Doubled projection and more, 27.6. He was the wide receiver 6 this week. Wan'Dale Robinson, Malik Neighbors, they both did well with projections. Trying to see highlights here. Giants defense struggled, man. I mean, they did. Their offense was even worse. So, hate to see that for Neighbors. Hate to see that for I'd be screaming. If I'm a Giants fan, I'm screaming for Jackson Dart. Might as well. If we're going to be at the bottom, let us be at the bottom and give him the experience he needs. Broncos, Titans, both quarterbacks shit the bed. Ward only had 1.48. No tutties, no interceptions, but only 112 yards. That also killed Calvin Ridley. Bo Nix, 40 attempts, but only had 176 yards, a touchdowns, but he threw 2 picks. He struggled on the day. Got to figure that out. J.K. Dobbins had a good day. Saw a rushing touchdown on 63 yards. Harvey saw 6 carries for 70 yards, but he did fall below projection. And then you saw Batty in there, who actually is their receiving back. 6 targets on the day. 6 targets on the day. Now, as for the Broncos versus wide receiver room, Cortland Sutton. Sorry. Got a tickle in my throat. Cortland Sutton, 9 targets, 6 catches. Good day. Calvin Ridley obviously was the guy that he targeted the most, along with Alike Audemore. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but I think the other guy, the rookie for Tennessee, is possibly streamable. Tyler Lockett, who I thought was going to get some action, did not look good. Didn't look like Cam Ward's favorite target. So I would think that he is streamable along with Calvin Ridley if they can figure out this offense. Tight ends, very mid. We had another kicker number 2, tied with 16 points, 4 for 4, 2 field goals from short, and a couple very, very long. So Broncos defense did very well, 12 points, 6 sacks. Titans defense even did well, 2 picks and a sack. 49ers and Seahawks. Okay. Sam Darnold fell way below projections. Is what we feared very true? Right? Is Sam Darnold a Kevin O'Connell experiment? He succeeded in Minnesota, right? But I think that was because of Kevin O'Connell.
It's not because of Sam Darnold just finding his rhythm. It's because of Kevin O'Connell. Brock Purdy met projections. We'll take that. I'm just going to leave him there. Sorry. He's going to stay at the camera. CMC was well above beat projections. 22 carries. I like the workload there. And then Brian Robinson also saw 9 carries and met projections. Any highlights here? Persall, 7 targets, 4 catches, 108 yards. I liked it. Beat projections. JSN looked good besides a fumble. Kittle. Now let's talk about Kittle. Kittle is going on IR, guys. Kittle is going on IR as of 2 hours ago. He will miss the team's next 4 games at minimum. Okay? Now, I do honestly think Jake Tongues, his backup, came in, caught a touchdown. I think that if you're a George Kittle owner, I think this is somebody you can pick up. If there's nobody else, but I think this is somebody that you can pick up and just drop after Kittle gets back. It'll just be a simple 1-for-1 process. Jake Moody, he's gone. Released today. Went 1 for 3, and Shanahan was not happy. Gone. Defenses met projections. We got Lions, Packers. We're almost done here, guys. We will preview Thursday's game with a special episode on Thursday night before the game. Okay? Or we might get to it tonight. Golf struggled. Gibbs, Jacobs met projections. Great job there. Brown only saw 6 targets on 4 catches and 45 yards. Okay? Tesla scores his first career touchdown on an amazing catch. Tesla may be a flex option or a week-to-week, bye-week substitution man in that high-octane Detroit offense. But we kind of see how Detroit is going to struggle without both coordinators, right? Said that was going to happen. On the Green Bay side of things, Matthew Golden, 2 catches, 16 yards. That's kind of tough. But I think it was against, Jaden Reed saw some. It was very spread around. Even Tucker Kraft saw 4 targets. 2 tight ends saw another target. Sam Laporta beat projections. Well job there. Packers defense did good. The Detroit Lions goose egged on defense, so not good. Rams, Texans. Here we go. Stafford met projections. Stroud very much struggled with an interception. Chubb struggled where he did not beat projection. Kyrene Williams, 18 carries, 66 yards, and a touchdown. Did not see any Yaquez Hunter, which was honestly surprising to me. As far as the wide receiver rooms, Nakua dominates as usual. 10 for 11 targets, 130 yards, right? Devontae Adams finds it late, but 4 of 8 for 51 yards. Otherwise than that, there's nobody streamable. Nico Collins had a bad day. 3 for 5, 25 yards, but I think that was more on Stroud. But it was honestly very spread around. Tight ends were okay. Nobody that I would be picking up or streamable. Rams defense did good, and the Texans defense also was good. So, Ravens, Bills, game of the week. Lamar Jackson kills it. Quarterback 4 for the week. Josh Allen, quarterback 1. They both blew the roof off the place. Derrick Henry was running back 1 this week, 28 points. James Cook, 21 points. Both solid performances. Zay Flowers. Okay, Zay Flowers, 28 points. He was wide receiver 1 this week. Phenomenal week from Zay Flowers. DeAndre Hopkins also beat projections on a one-handed touchdown catch. Go look it up if you haven't seen it. Keon Coleman was a highlight and a pleasant surprise. 11 targets, 8 catches, 112 yards, and a touchdown. Khalil Shakir met projections as well as Joshua Palmer. Dalton Kincaid, 50 yards and a touchdown. Kickers did well. Heck of a game. Last game we'll talk about, Vikings, Bears. Caleb, McCarthy go at it. They both beat projection. Bears, it's the tale of two halves. Bears did really well in the first half, but Minnesota took over. Aaron Jones beat projections. Jordan Mason met projections. Okay, good starts from them. Justin Jefferson, they'll get it figured out, but he fell below projections. They'll get it figured out. Him and Adam Thielen. Romeo Dunze looked active in, gosh darn it. Don't jump on me. Roma Dunze, 9 targets, 6 catches, and a touchdown. Bears defense kind of showed out over the Vikings defense. All right, guys, that's going to be it for us this week. We will preview Thursday's game on a special episode of Thursday. We'll just probably do a short 20-minute episode. I got to go to work, and I apologize. I apologize for the cat. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate our sponsors and who we're powered by, Sports Lounge Media. Again, if you guys had not, go check them out. Please and thank you. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, you name it. It's our type of season. It's football season, and we're here to give you all the information that you are needing. Here at the Marshall Experience, we focus and specialize in fantasy. So just give us a follow, and I can guarantee you that your fantasy production will increase, right? Your wins will increase. We're going to do stardom sit-ems on Saturdays. We're going to do recaps and who injuries. We're going to stay up on top of it, guys. So hope you guys have a great day. I got to get to work, but thank you. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a great week. We will see you on Thursday for the preview. Thank you.